Hello everyone, it's Beth with Goody Goods and I have a great video for you guys today. It's not going to really get started on a good foot because I have a life update. Last week I cut my finger with my rotary cutter and had to go to the ER. Luckily my mother-in-law lives only like 5 minutes away, so we didn't have to wake up all the kids to go. But it happened late at night and I was on a video call with my friend, which thank goodness it was not an Instagram live because I would have seriously scarred some people for life. But me and my friend Haley were chatting and having a great time working on a test block that we were both working on. And I took one wrong cut. I mean, I didn't even know I cut myself. I just remember going through and then looking down and seeing blood, and luckily it was a fresh rotary blade. It could have been a lot worse. I honestly didn't even feel it until I noticed that obviously something was not okay. And so yeah, I cut my finger. This is the first time. My first reaction was to be just completely embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I remember after doing it I was like, Haley, I just did something and I can't tell you what it is. And eventually I was like, okay, I cut my finger and I think I have to go because I could not get it under control. So I ended up going in on Monday and I've been wearing this little bandage for a while. It should be better hopefully soon, but I told myself that I was going to take a week off sewing and that didn't happen. I did minimal cutting this week after the incident, but I did get some other things done. I did mostly sewing and piecing that didn't involve a lot of cutting. So that was my life update. Not the best way to start off the video, but that kind of leads into my sewing series and my announcement regarding that. I was planning to create the preparing your fabric to cut and then a piecing portion of the series, but I feel like until my finger heals I will be postponing that video. I just feel like I shouldn't be making a cutting video after I cut my finger. So I will be working on that in the near future once my finger is healed up all the way, and I will have a bunch of resources and tidbits for you guys if you are brand new to quilting and you need help prepping your fabrics to cut to piece your quilt. So I'm really excited for that series, but it's going to have to take a little hiatus for hopefully only a week, and hopefully I'll be able to push that out for you guys very soon. I did not have a ton of happy mail this week from what I purchased. I do have huge things to share with you guys. First, I'm going to start off with my swap block that I received from my Scrappy Girls Club floral themed swap, and it is really, really pretty. It is more on the traditional side, and it actually reminds me of the quilt that my grandmother made me. It's like almost spot on. Even my husband, when he saw it, was like, that looks like your quilt. And I love my quilt. So I was really, really happy to receive this block. Let me show you. I already hung it up. Well, my husband hung it up. So there it is, hung up. We just used some command strips and got it on up there. And it's absolutely beautiful. I hope that you can pick up on the quilting she did. She did a lot of straight line quilting on there, and I absolutely love it. I'm really happy to have it on my wall with my other wall hangings behind me. Hopefully soon I will have this little space filled up with my Snuggle Puzzle mini wall hanging that I did earlier. I am going to play around quilting that with free motion quilting, so hopefully that'll be done soon and fill in that little space. But I thought that you guys would love to see my swap block that I got. I absolutely love it. My partner, her name was Lori, and she did an absolutely phenomenal job, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from her once she gets my block because yeah, I hope she likes it, and swaps are just way too fun. So if you haven't done a swap, I highly recommend go find some, even postcard swaps. Like these two are from postcard swaps. I definitely recommend. It's a great way to connect with other quilters and get something fun in the mail. Okay, so for my whips and tips segment, I'm going to show you what I'm working on right now. I was able to do a little bit of sewing today. Last night I was playing around on the still yet to be announced very, very exciting thing that I'm going to share with you after this. I feel like it needs to be last. We're saving the best for last, y'all. But I did some sewing on my color wheel quilt for Quarter Life Leap, and I'm loving it. it. I have 18 more blocks to go, so quite a bit more work to do, but I keep telling myself I got a fourth of it done, so I just need to keep plugging away at it and I will get it done in no time. Let me show you what I have done so far. This is my first fourth. So, really pretty. I'm so excited to get this all pieced together and cuddle up with this. It's going to be really cool to have a circular quilt, but I'm absolutely loving these colors. Look at how beautiful these are together. So I'm going to be heading in to my next colors are going to be kind of like a limey chartreuse green, and then going all the way down. I mean, you guys know the rainbow, but it's going to look so cool. And hopefully I can get a lot of work done on this week and get it done very soon. But I thought I'd share with you guys. It's going to be a massive quilt. Like, this is pretty big, I feel like. So to imagine having 4 of these put together, it's going to be a decent sized quilt to cuddle up with on the couch. But I love it. And this is what I have been focusing all of my attention on lately. I also got an email from Snuggle Puzzle, so for my future projects, I have this color wheel quilt that I'm working on currently, and then after that, my next quilt is going to be a t-shirt quilt for a family member's graduation coming up, and in between there, I'm going to work on the second pattern that Snuggle Puzzle sent me, and it's so cute. So if you guys remember this one that I did, I got it all basted and sandwiched ready to go, so I'm really excited. I'm planning on doing some free motion quilting in the background, like doing some pebbles and flowers kind of like blooming out of the picture. I think that'd be super cute. But she sent me her second pattern, and I think it'd be a really cute thing to do and put next to this wall hanging, because it's of her mama holding, well, not her mama, but a mama holding her baby boy. I mean, not a baby, but a toddler, and it's so cute. So I'm really excited to work on that. I will have my color wheel quilt and the second pattern from Snuggle Puzzle done by the end of this month. Hopefully, as long as I don't cut my finger again, knock on wood, I should be on track to get these 2 projects done before May. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're already talking about May. But and then the t-shirt quilt I have to be done by May 28th. So I've got a lot of things on my plate right now, and I'm really excited to get through all of them and get to quilting. So I thought I would share with you guys my whips. And now for a tip. I feel like because of recent events, I should do a tip regarding cutting and, you know, all of the tips that you need to safely cut for your projects, and I have a few on my list. So 1, make sure that you are using a rotary cutter that is comfortable for you. If you like the ones with the grips that I have mentioned in my previous video, go for it. If you like the stick one and you're comfortable with that, do it. Use whatever is comfortable for you. 2, make sure that you have a new blade. Do not be using your rotary blades forever, and I'm guilty of this. I like to extend the life of my rotary blades forever because they are expensive, and I'm always like going to the next project. I feel like sometimes I fail to pause and prep everything that I need for a new project, like a new needle, a new blade, stuff like that. So new blades, it's going to save you so much extra work, and the cutting's going to be effortless. So I highly recommend new blade. You're not going to be stressing as much to get those cuts through, and you won't be as likely to cut yourself because you're just gliding through. Number 3, I want you to be focused, and each time that you're cutting, please make sure that your hands are on your ruler with your pinky on the opposite side of your cutting direction. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here is your ruler. You're cutting something. Let's pretend there's fabric on here, okay? You've got your hand on your ruler. A little bit of space and distance between the edge that is going to be in your cutting direction or in the way of the rotary cutter. Just make sure you have a good grasp on it. And then have your little pinky on the outside holding on to your project. That's going to prevent your ruler from slipping and sliding on you, and the slipping and sliding can cause you to cut yourself and lose control. So you really want to make sure you have control of your ruler while you are cutting. That is imperative for safe cutting. So make sure your hands are on the ruler, make sure you've got your pinky holding out, and then do your cutting. And when you're cutting, part of the reason why I feel like I cut myself was because I had moved my cutting mat onto my sewing table. My sewing table is quite a bit higher than my cutting mat. So I feel like that's where we ran into some issues, because I was parallel with my project and not above it. So that leads me into my next tip. Make sure that you are comfortable while you are cutting. Can you see? Let's see. Let me see if I can get you far enough away. So my sewing table comes up to about my hip. If I'm standing up, that's not really a problem, but I was sitting down, and that means that I'm parallel, like at the same level of my project, and that is when I lost control and was not safely cutting. So let me show you what my my cutting table is. So my sewing table is about at my hip. This is well below my hip. This is almost to the point where it's at my thigh. Let me move my chair. And this. Okay, can you see? Let's see. Can you see that this is quite a bit lower than right at my hip? So up here is right here. And then here, I mean, it's at least 4 or 5 inches lower than my sewing table, and I always usually cut standing up when I'm over here, but it's so much lower that even if I'm sitting down, I'm still above my project. Let's go over the tips that we have so far. 1, make sure you have a comfortable rotary cutter for you. Everyone likes a different style. 2, make sure you have a fresh blade. 3, make sure you are focused and have proper hand placement and control over your ruler. You can get some stickies to put on the back of your ruler to kind of help keep it fixed to your fabric or whatever you're cutting. And then 5, get over your project. You do not want to be parallel or at the same level of where you are cutting. You're going to have a lot more control if you're up above. So I think those are all of the tips that I'd like to share with you, and hopefully we can avoid you making the same mistake that I did. I do feel like it's bound to happen. I feel like that's terrible to say. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but I feel like every quilter has had a run-in with their rotary cutter. I did do a poll on my Instagram, so if you're not following me over there, please go check it out. I do a lot of fun things like that throughout the week. I'm not sure this would be considered fun, but I did do a poll and I asked people, have you cut your finger with a rotary blade? Have you sewn over your finger? Have you done both? And have you done neither? And the results were astonishing. Like, so many quilters have done either or, and a lot of them have done both. I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case, but it happens, and sometimes it's really hard. I mean, you have to be focused all the time, and it takes 1 second to do something silly and really get hurt. So let me know in the comments, have you done any of those, or have you been able to stay in the clear? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Without further ado, I have something very, very exciting to share with you. I saved it for the end of the video, so hopefully if you're still on, you get to see the special treat. I'm so excited. So my husband, he surprised me, and he got me a Juki sewing machine and was able to keep it a secret from me. I don't know how he did it, but I am literally amazed. I'm still in shock. But I'm going to show you my machine, and then I will show you what else he got to pair with it. So let me flip this around and show you. Okay, I've got the cover on it. I'm trying to be responsible and save it from dust. But there she is. Isn't she beautiful? It is the TL2000 QI. I've heard nothing but great reviews on this machine. It is quite different from my Singer. This is still a great machine. She's not going anywhere. I love her. I am connected with her, but she is now going to be exclusively for paper piecing, and this is going to be all for my fabric piecing and quilting. So I'm so grateful and surprised, and I just thought I would share with you guys that is the huge thing that has happened this week as well. the very last thing that I want to share with you guys is that my husband also got the Grace Cutie long arm frame for me. So this all goes together, and plus he put it all together the other day. I don't know how to put things together, but he did such a great job. He actually had it all on my table, and my Juki was on it, and last night on my Instagram I did a live and I did some playing around on it, and I quilted for the very first time on the long arm frame. And this is what I did. I worked on just a random piece of project that I had going. This was actually the project that I cut myself while I was making. This is a test quilt block from It's Only Fabric and Thread. So this is the infamous block here. This is what caused me all the heartache, but I pulled it out last night so that I could practice some free motion quilting on my long arm, and I think it ended up pretty well. This was the first part. This is where I started, and then I went over here and got like bigger squigglies, and I tried doing some scallops. And then while I was on the live, my friend said, why don't you try some cursive ease? So I did some cursive ease to get used to the curves. And then I worked over here and did some pebbles. I think they look amazing. I did a few pebbles and I was like, well, maybe I will echo around and not do pebbles everywhere, and quickly realized that looked a lot worse. So I went back to doing my pebbles everywhere, and I'm so proud of my pebbles. I love pebbles on quilts. I think it's just a great detail to add. So that's why I'm planning on doing this on my snuggle puzzle block. And then I worked my way over to this blue section and did some meandering, and then I followed this white part and tried to do some flowers. I started with this flower, echoed, and then worked over here. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to bind it. I already trimmed it. I'm going to bind it and hang it up on my wall as a reference. I think it's really, really good to keep all of your firsts. Whenever you're trying to learn a new technique or something, I think it's really cool. I mean, in a few months, I'll be able to look up at the wall and be like, that was my first time. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have been able to practice enough to get better. But, you know, there's no guarantees that I'm going to be a free motion quilting rock star, but hopefully the hope is that I will get better and I will be able to do some more intricate quilting on some of my quilts. So I'm really, really excited. I'm happy with how this turned out. And I had a lot of fun doing it live on Instagram. So again, if you're not following me on there, please head over. I do a lot of sewing throughout the week, and I like to hop on there and do lives at night when I'm piecing and stuff like that. If you'd rather me go live on YouTube, please let me know. I'm just hoping to not step on any toes. I know a lot of creators go live throughout the week, and I'm not really sure I have everybody on the schedule, so I don't want to go live when, you know, Yvette or Becca or Sean's live or Courtney's. So I just want to make sure that I'm not in the way of all of that. So that's why I tend to go on Instagram live, because it's just hopping on and I get to chat with my friends. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys this week. I am just blown away. I'm still in shock. I can't believe that I have a long arm now, and I get to do all of these fun things on my quilts, and I will be bringing you with me along on the journey. So if you've been thinking about getting a Cutie Grace frame or a Grace Cutie frame, please let me know, and I would love to share my experience along the way, and once I learn, maybe I'll have some suggestions for you as well. So that's all I wanted to share. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. I hope that my whips and tips helped you and that you will not be cutting your finger in the near future. Let me know if you have. And I will see you guys next weekend. Bye, guys!